You know, after the first episode of this season, we started 1-1. I got some questions. Are we going to be able to keep up the momentum we had last year when we finished the season, 8-0, 9-0? I didn't have a lot of answers for him. We looked okay against Nebraska, but were they going to be able to continue to be like where they were at that point? Will we be able to bounce back after my first loss? Well, we ran the table, and assuming disaster doesn't happen, because we won the MAC championship, Bowling Green will be making their first ever appearance in the college football playoff. I have not advanced it yet, as you can see. I will be finding this out with you guys and with whoever is watching this live on Twitch. I don't know if I mentioned it last episode, but all of these are streamed on Twitch. Links always in the description. Come check it out. See what it's about. But I'm going to go ahead and sim. We're figuring out all these yearly awards. You're finding these out with me. And whatever commitments I get. I got a 3-star right tackle, 3-star center. And then some more guys down the board are getting a little bit closer as well. So we finish at 9th. That is good enough to make the playoffs. TJ Nelson, MAC Defensive Player of the Week. And grass is green, Daniel Hill, Offensive Player of the Week. Oh, we got to sim one more? All right. Kind of takes a little bit of the thunder out of it. But anyways, I suppose this is also when I'm going to find out who wins the Heisman. I mean, I think we already know that, but there's an edge rusher committing and a will linebacker. Before I started recording this, I kind of went through a lot of the defensive depth charts, or like depth charts in general, just to see who all I'm actually going to get to keep. We have one linebacker who is currently projected to actually stay on the roster, and he's a 65 overall redshirt junior. So, it's not looking great for that. Daniel Hill wins the Walter Camp Award. That means he's going to win the Maxwell and then the Heisman. Yep, there's Maxwell in 3, 2, 1. Heisman. Daniel Hill, 309 carries, 2,760 yards, 8 yards per carry. Heisman. And that doesn't show his touchdowns either. Of course he wins the Doak Walker. And we would be playing Oregon in the first round of the college football playoff. And since we dropped from 8 to 9, I assume that probably means we have to play this at Autzen Stadium. Because we got dropped. Because we won the MAC and not some other conference. Because Penn State and Clemson won, they jumped up. Well, yeah, Clemson won their conference, so they jumped us. Penn State also jumped up a bit. I guess, yeah, Penn State must have beat USC. And then A&M beat Texas. Is that how I'm reading this? And since Clemson beat Louisville, so Louisville drops down to 7. Clemson jumps a whole lot of people to go up to 2nd. And because of that, we now have to play our game away at Autzen Stadium against Oregon. That's not great. I'll take a look at job offers just to kind of see. I'm not moving away from Bowling Green. And even if I was able to, I'm not taking a defensive coordinator job. First of all, I'm not leaving for a non-head coach job. Second of all, this is a Bowling Green Dynasty. This is not Bank the Tank goes and saves every other program in the country. That's I have no interest in doing that. Maybe at some point down the line, but not this one. Okay. I kept Rashad Wing on the board just to see maybe if they recruited somebody else, or I don't know, I guess just to torture myself. He ends up having an impact, so not that big of a loss. Terrence Lehman's star. That's huge because we didn't have him scouted at all. Cleveland is impact. Tyree Blades has normal, but 85 speed at linebacker. That is exactly what we need. That's big. Epps has impact. Yosef Alatu has impact with 90 speed. Bo Thomas has impact. Fetu Lutui has impact. Major only has normal. Passignon, I guess, is probably how you say that, has normal. Bolin with impact. Nortman with normal. A Lens with normal. Oh, a lot more normals than I wanted to see. Alonzo A with normal. Barry Knox with normal. I mean, this is what you get with 3-star, like, regular guys. You're going to get a lot of normals, maybe a couple impacts. Stephen Grubb with normal. And Pippen also with normal. Okay. Normal's not, like, the worst case scenario. I mean, it is bad, obviously. But you give him some time. Give him some... just give him playing time. I mean, he could still end up being decent. He's just not going to be, like, a 3-year... and then you're off to the NFL type of player, which is probably for the best. It's better to keep these guys in the program, try to raise them up to be the best player they can be. As we're still firmly in the battle for a lot more of these guys down the board. Okay, I guess it's time to rip the Band-Aid off, isn't it? Actually, no, I have more things I want to see. Because there's a real good chance this is a one-game episode. So I got to get as much time burnt out of this as possible, so that way it's not too obvious when it's like a 56-minute upload when I'm usually like doing like hour and a halves. Yeah, Daniel Hill finished first. Eli Holstein and Terry Busey. So I'm going to say that. Both from A&M finished both top 5. Tavian Sinclair of Boise State. Devin Dampier of Texas. Oh, boy. Yeah, that's... I mean, I think all of those guys were portal guys. I don't know about the receiver, but everybody in the top 5 for Heisman voting was all acquired through the transfer portal. That's just how football works now. Of course, we'll take a look as further down the board for these awards we already know the winner of. Looks like Jeremiah Smith. Obviously, he's a 99 overall. Good Lord. Yeah, Rocco to Alabama. That's a tough look. He transferred to Alabama just to not even finish ranked. Come on now. All right, I finished 3rd for Coach of the Year. I would argue that the MAC team that ran the table and made the playoffs would probably be a lot higher in contention than 3rd for Coach of the Year, but whatever, I guess. In A&M actually not choking mid-season is probably enough to give him some recognition. So, fair enough. Yeah, not going to say Ethan Houck in a lot of these quarterback awards, unfortunately. Probably not a lot for defense either for me. Yeah, it doesn't look like it. Daniel Hill obviously won Doak Walker. Maud Hardy's at UNC now. That's rough. Yeah, Jeremiah Smith was not in the top 5 for Heisman. Terry Busey was, but Jeremiah Smith wins the Biletnikoff. Denzel Boston transferred to Boise State. All right. Parker Livingstone to San Diego State. He's only an 82 in this game? Man, I mean, I guess I haven't watched a ton of Texas this year. I just know that, like, Archer's first, 6 touchdowns were to Parker Livingstone. All right. Oh, wow. Justin Eklund actually finished 11th for the Lombardi Award. That's crazy. Okay. Over Colin Simmons. Wow. Golden Arm Award. This is for... obviously for senior quarterbacks. Ours was a freshman, so... yeah, Eklund for 9th for Edge Rusher of the Year. He must have had a lot better season than I thought he did. 8 sacks, 23 tackles, 23 TFLs. I mean, that's a pretty good season. All right. Of course, we'll probably take a look at the full season stats here after the playoff push. Yeah, didn't really throw to my tight end a ton. My coordinators were 2nd and 4th for the Broyles. That's fun. Linebacker of the year was never winning that. Trevor Tate finishes 6th for the Remington. Interesting. He didn't punt much. Return game was kind of mid. Yeah, Ethan Houck, 11th for the Sean Alexander. That's pretty good. We'll definitely take that. All right. There's your look at award finishes. Yep. Well, our only loss this year was the Nebraska. It was at their stadium, and they think they were like an 84, 86 overall. This is at Autzen, which is probably an even tougher place to play, against a team 7 overalls higher. Which, how much of an effect does overall actually play in this game? Who knows, because they kind of weigh it weird. I'm going to tell you right now, I think that aside, they're probably still a lot better team than us. Well, if Daniel Hill's going to prove he's not a Mac merchant, this would be the game to do it. $34 here in Eugene. I don't know if it freezes over that much there. I'd assume probably, because Oregon's pretty north. But, hey, ocean effect, who knows? We'll see what this Oregon offense has for me. I think they, let's see, execute the script. They want to play like a 0-0. Yeah, so basically, we need to dial in. They need to act like they're not winning 50-0. All right. What do we have for us, defense? There we go. TJ Nelson applying the pressure. Forcing 2nd and 10. It's a screen, and we're there. Gideon Lamprey. Off the bat, making it 3rd and 15. Let's go, defense. They're going to check it down on 3rd and 15. They're only going to get 9. They're going to punt. All right. Good start. I saw Alexander. I'm pretty sure I saw that guy walking out of the tunnel. I just assumed that was Bear. No, I guess their punter's last name is also Alexander. They got Caleb Lomu, too. Oh, my Lord. Yeah, this is going to be a hard one to win. I'm not going to lie. Mateo Uyunglele. Yeah, ranked 9 stadium pulse. Oh, my goodness. Hey, we forced an injury first play on offense. That's not bad. We'll take that. Yeah, Ethan Houck doesn't know the play. All right. Okay. Well, that certainly was not the route he was supposed to be on. I'm pretty sure he was supposed to be on a streak. I just assumed he was on a drag for some reason. And all of a sudden, that big play on the defense means absolutely nothing. Okay, don't be doing this RPO garbage on me right now. I'm suffering enough as it is. Do we really need this? Okay, Lamprey, I tried to go for his ankles. He just fell to his knees. Yeah, this is gonna be a rough one to try to win here. They're going for more screens. Yeah. This is going to be a game. I was there. I kind of tried to shoot the gap and then got picked up. Didn't matter too much. They only gained 2 yards. Make it 3rd and 5. Moore's going to try to run for it. He's not going to get there. Only gets 3. They're going to take 3. All right. I'm liking what I'm seeing out of the defense so far. I got to say. Kick is good. 3-0 Oregon. Hey, this game could be going a lot worse than it is right now. Offensively, not good. But our defense has been locking in. I appreciate it. Okay. Slow it down here a little bit. Okay. So, if we want to try to run the ball, we do need a couple blocks. There we go. There's a couple. Daniel Hill broken tackle. There's a first down. Okay. There we go. See, we need more of that. Give me some broken tackles. Give me a couple downfield blocks. We'll be all right. There's 8 yards. This is what we need Daniel Hill to do. He just has to take over a game. First down. Quiet down the crowd a little bit. Let Ethan Houck take a breath. Let's get back to playing our brand of football. Austin Clay underneath. There's another first down. Okay. We don't need 50 yards of play. We just need about 4 to 5. Keep us in time. Isaiah Johnson gets by the blitzing corner. There's 20 yards. Okay. Here we go. I'm liking this. Stiff arm. All right. Only got a yard, but that's probably going to be one of the more impressive yards you're ever going to see. Well, maybe not ever, but still good. Ethan Houck is somehow back to being cold. Let's give him a drag route to Sammy Riggs. That always cheers him up. 1st and goal at the 7. Let's see what is. I don't like it. Okay, I went to inside zone. Let's see what it actually is. It is inside zone. Daniel Hill's wide open. That's a touchdown. We needed that drive so bad. And all of a sudden, Bowling Green has a lead. Don't look now. But this game suddenly looks a lot more winnable than it did about 5 minutes ago. See if defense can keep doing what they've been doing. Okay, that was a hell of a move. Okay, I'd prefer if that didn't happen. Please. Decorian Moore, could you not do that? Thank you. Yep, cover 2's cooked. Yep, alright. That is why you don't do that. He's going to try to heat him up, decided against it immediately. Whoa! That should have been a pick. Oh, that should have been a pick. Wow. Dakaya Banks can't haul it in. Oh, that would have been a huge momentum play to end quarter number 1. As it is, though, Bowling Green with the lead. Hey, if we end every quarter with the lead, I mean, we'll win the game. It's as simple as that. Just win every quarter. 1 of 4 so far. Let's keep it up. That's how you win quarters. Is that Ephraim Asiata in for the TFL? Love it. Love it, love it, love it. 3rd and 12. Let's hold them here. Oh, that's a nasty spin move. Okay. I only had one guy over the middle. It was me. I was on who I was supposed to be on, but I simply could not be on everybody at the same time. 1st and goal, Oregon. Inside zone, that's wide open. Both my D tackles got pancaked. Touchdown, Ducks. They are back in the lead. Okay. Okay, I mean, it was bound to happen eventually, right? We weren't going to hold them away from the end zone the entire game. That simply was never going to happen. Why do we have an offensive lineman on kick return? That feels like a bad idea. Have my starting left tackle on kick return? Okay. Daniel Hill with the reception. He's looking a little slow to get up, but I didn't see a pop-up. Looked like that was just an animation more than it was an actual situation. He is looking a little bit banged up already. Not, like, too bad. But that is a situation to monitor as we get further into this game. 3rd and 1. We're probably going to give him the ball again. We are. Slips through just enough to get me the 1st down. Certainly not helping his yards per carry right now, but he's getting us enough to get yards. Some yards. It's not like 10 yards a carry like it was in the regular season, but we don't need regular season yards right now. We need anything we can get. So I will happily take 3 or 4 a carry. There's a big carry, though. Daniel Hill breaking tackles. He's still on his feet. Up to the 32. And the tight end's injured on the play. That's not great. We got backups, though. Couldn't quite get that block over the middle. Still got me 4 yards. That's not bad. Bruised ribs. We'll see what Merlin Ostrom has at tight end 1. Probably see more of Jacone Duffy in his place. This is probably not going to end well, but I'm going to try it. Yep, all right. Probably had something to the right there if I went for it, but I tried to go more up the middle, and my left guard got literally thrown. This feels like it's going to work. I would love to see how it's not. Oh, because this is not the play. Still worked anyways. Daniel Hill, 1st down. I mean, when that's just simply, when they just make it not the play I called, yeah, that's how that's not going to work. I mean, it is what I called, but it's not what I audibled to. Danny Hill comes back to it. Reaches into the end zone. Touchdown number 2 for him on the day. Bowling Green back on top. Offense is cooking. First drive, we don't need to talk about it. That was a warm-up. They didn't score on their first drive either. It's fine. Then they got a field goal. We got a touchdown. They got a touchdown. We got another one. We're back on top. Also worth noting, we do have the ball to start the second half. So if we can end this half with a lead, we're looking really good. He breaks the tackle. Eklund manages to come back to it. Holds him to 7. Probably going to bet a heck of a lot more. Uh-oh. Terry and Nichols breaks it up. Makes it 3rd and 3. That's big. Couldn't even really process what was going on because the camera angle wasn't right. Oh, that's wide open. Okay. Yeah, they seem to be ready to stop. Oh, that's just the cheesiest cover 3 beater I've ever seen. Okay. Noted. They're not playing fair. Yeah. All right. We had our guy that was supposed to be guarding that all the way on the other side of the field, so that will happen. I'm really not liking like any of these calls I'm getting out of the DC right now. We'll see what heating them up can do. Worked pretty well because they ran right into the blitz. All right, 3rd and 4. I don't like Eklund going back into coverage here, but I don't know how much of a choice we have given the personnel. Yeah, that's why I didn't like it. That is why I did not like it. He is not a coverage guy. He's my left edge. Right? I don't know. One of the edge rushers. It's not like I have Arvell Reese over there who can play off and on the ball about equally. Oh, come on. Wrap him up. There we go. And Caleb Lomu's down. That's huge. Only leg cramps for him, though, so he'll be back in a little bit. In the meantime, Ephraim Asiata, you gotta cook. You have to cook right now. They seem to be very content running the ball right now. And it's working, so can't blame them too much for it. Yeah, that's my zone. And somehow he falls into the end zone. DeCorian Moore already has 72 yards and a touchdown on me. Okay. Oregon is back on top. We got a minute and 29 and 3 timeouts to respond. That's not the end of the world. Ooh, we had a crease for a second, but they closed that up quick. Okay. See how fast we can get down the field. Sammy Riggs stays on his feet. Up to the 35, not bad. Did we not already get that pop-up? Did he hurt himself again somehow? Probably. Sammy Riggs over the middle gets me 5. We're going to no huddle. Can I hike the ball? Yes. Denny Hill makes the catch, steps out of bounds, gain it 3. Make it 3rd and 2. That looks incredibly open. It didn't go there. Okay. I don't know what the play is now. I honestly did not mean to throw that ball right there. This is stupid, but I'm going for it. 4th and 2. I don't want to give Oregon this ball back before the end of the half. And why would I? First down. Run the same play even. Daniel Hill makes the catch, goes out of bounds. I have 3 timeouts. I probably don't need to be just sprinting out of bounds every time. I'm going to use one here. All right. Let's settle down. I think it did actually switch to the run. It did. The run's got a lot of space. That's why sometimes you gotta keep him on. You gotta keep him honest. You gotta keep him honest. Okay, see, my main route, my main target on that play got blocked by 3 different defenders. Not ideal. It won't let me audible to the inside zone. Maybe that's a good idea. Sacked. Okay. This is a bad idea, but I'm going to call this timeout. I'm going to take one shot. I got one pass. This is either going to the end zone or out of bounds. It didn't do either. Fuck. Run. I'm not going to get this snap off, am I? Nope. Okay. Okay. Well, that was a pretty poor management of the clock right there. We could have pretty easily ended that half in a tie, but instead we will go into halftime and subsequently the start of the third quarter down 3. Not great. But we've seen a lot of good out of this offense. We've also seen a lot of good out of their offense. We've also seen Elijah Brown get himself hurt 3 times in the same game. I've told you to sit every time. He won't listen. He knows this is too big of a game. And I respect the hell out of him for it. But, buddy, coach is telling you to sit. You gotta sit. I'm sorry. Merlin Ostrom, the guy in Elijah Brown's place with the catch, gets me up to the 43. Broken thumb for Elijah Brown. Whether we win this game or not, his season is likely over. And I think he's a senior, so that means his career's done. At least as a Bowling Green Falcon. He's probably not getting drafted either, so. Running back wide open in the flat. Give me to the 25. Good work. That's not the button I wanted to press, but it's actually going to work out probably okay if I can get a couple blocks here. Was McMillan on the carry? Give me 6. All right. Okay, somehow I had 3 blockers there and none of them thought to put a hand on the guy that was right in front of their face. Interesting. Is the ball going to get there? Yes, it is. Merlin Ostrom with the catch. He's coming in big right now. Hold on. Maybe I could have phrased that a little bit differently. First and goal, I have no idea what play this is, but I think, yeah. He's on a little corner-ish route right now. Riggs is on an out. Riggs makes the catch. He's up to the 3. Why are my 3rd and 4th string tight ends on the field right now? Ethan Houck, do you have enough speed? You do. Touchdown, Bowling Green, we're back on top. That was scary. But Ethan Houck with just enough speed to punch that baby into the end zone. They're not going to risk a return. They'll take it at the 25. That's smart. TJ Nelson forces the incomplete pass. He's had a lot of breakups today. He's doing pretty well. I think he is somebody who's projected a transfer, which For as much crap as I've given him this season, I would like to retain as much talent as possible. So, if you would like to reconsider that, I would greatly appreciate it. They flipped it to the running back, got nothing for it. Well, they got 2. But on a 2nd and 10, that doesn't change much. 3rd and 8. Please get them off the field here. Launching a deep. Parks. Yeah, that'll happen. That will happen when that's like a 71 overall corner. That will happen. Could not locate the ball to save his life. Gets cooked. Big hit, Lamprin. Make a deer, he'll remember that one. This scares me a little bit, but if we can get home, it's all good. Scooch Lucas up to the line a little bit. Lewis, excuse me. Decorium, that's not Decorium, that's Dante. I'm getting my words all mixed up right now. Dante Moore scoots ahead for 5. I'm going to switch to a cover 3 because I'm terrified of man coverage right now. Had to make a decision. They're going to spot that as a touchdown. That feels like a questionable spot. Yeah, I mean, looking at my options here, my options were let 9 catch this ball or hope that Dakaya Banks would react to that slant time. And there was no way. There's no way he was going to. I feel like I made the right choice. TJ Nelson just absolutely takes the worst route to the ball you could have gotten there. How is this a touchdown? I would be delighted to know how this is a touchdown. That's not even close. His butt is down right there. Right there. Right there he's down. He's at the 1-yard line. That's not even like a half-yard situation either. That is literally at the 1-yard line. I'm throwing that challenge flag. I don't care. That's not a touchdown. That's simply not a touchdown. There's no way. I don't care if this loses me a timeout. That's not... You can literally see him as he's down. Clearly not in the end zone. There's no way. Wow. I thought for sure they were going to keep that, but they did overturn it. Will that matter much in the end? We'll find out. It won't. Because they ran a stack screen, and there's nothing you can do about that. Well, made for more content. Oregon is back on tap. Start at the 24. Getting a lot of Daniel Hill in the receiving game today. That's his 10th catch for 100 yards. I feel like he's mostly just a running back. But he's getting involved in the receiving game today a lot. Of course he's getting his licks in the run game as well. There's 3 broken tackles. Won't need a 4th because he's gone. 68 yards. Touchdown, Daniel Hill. That's my Heisman. Bowling Green on top once again. Come on, defense. There we go. They're not going to count it as a sack, but Ephraim Asiato, I will remember that. Managed to sneak up just in front of the line of scrimmage to not count it against them. But that's a good way to keep him hemmed in. Boy, one thing about the CPU in this game, man, they love their flats. They can't get enough of them. I am a little bit nervous about Kashmir Lewis over the middle of the field here. Well, it didn't really matter because they just do it's screens and flats. That's all it is in this game. DeCorian Moore 7 for 141 and a touchdown. I think it was number 2 that cooked Kaya Banks or Keonta Parks. I think it was Keonta Parks. So all of DeCorian Moore's yards this game are on like flats and screens. Yeah, Oregon is a very frustrating offense to try to stop, I gotta say. Not a fan. We stopped them twice, though, so that's hopefully going to be enough to win us this game. Got bumped trying to guard him. Forward progress gave him 7 more yards than he was tackled at. I would argue he was actively trying to fight off those tackles, but whatever. We're there. He reaches forward for 2. I had him back for a loss of 2. Ended up getting the funkiest animation I've ever seen to gain 2. Okay. I'm playing hard flats. I'm not getting beat by those in this red zone. Third and 5. Excuse me? How is this not a pick? Like real talk. I'm not benching him. I just want to see how tall Gideon Lamprin is. I think he's 6'2". 6 foot. He's 6 foot tall. I think if he is 6'2", that's a pick. That's brutal. That is absolutely brutal. That should 1,000% be a pick. And the computer jumps off sides. Dude. It's Justin Eklund. This has been an unfortunate series of events this last minute of game time. All right, I'm on a weird angle. I don't think it mattered what angle I was, Allen. That was a touchdown either way. Excuse me? Can I? Wouldn't let me change my camera angle. Okay, I don't want to be on broadcast. I have no control over this play. Okay. Of all the buttons they could have took to implement the formation subs, why did they have to take away the button to change your camera angle? Why did they make it just one loop? That is so much more annoying. And also makes no sense. Somehow that's anywhere near the receiver, and it's a catch. That is a bailout. I love it. Jacone Duffy with a catch. Probably his first of the season. Enough to give me 12 and a first down. See what an inside zone does for me. Does pretty well. Tell you what, gets me 14 yards. Gives Daniel Hill 8 for 180. I think if I looked at the records correctly, he needs, I think, 2 tied him. I think now he's tied the record. I think 1 more and he breaks Barry Sanders' rushing touchdown record. So got to be on the lookout for that. Although I question at this stage in the game how many rushing touchdown opportunities I'm going to have for him. At this one, I probably need to score now. I didn't see he was still there. Well, touchdown Oregon, they pick sixed us. And more likely than not, that is probably ball game. As much as I don't want to admit it, I don't think we're getting a stop. We can probably get another touchdown. I highly doubt we're getting a stop. Boy, that is a brutal way for it to go. I just straight up didn't see him. .78 gets demolished. Bear Alexander. Yeah, that'll happen. Yep, now it's 3rd and 12. Daniel Hill, does he have the angle to get the first down? He does. Man. That's it. Just man. He was open to this man, dude. I hate talking like this game's over, because it's not over, right? Like, we could come back and still win this game. There is enough time for it to happen. But we would need nothing short of a miracle. And yes, I am counting stopping Oregon from getting a touchdown as a miracle. There was nothing. That play sucks. That play is flat out terrible. Okay. Yep, there's the 2-minute timeout. I needed this. If I was going to come back and win this game, we simply had to have a touchdown before that. But we're not. We're barely halfway there. Well, that's not the button I thought that was. That's probably a pick. It's not. 4th and 14. This is for game. It's for game, and the crowd knows it. Never even had a chance. It's a throw out a sack pick. Yeah, that'll do it. I'm surprised that they're not just going out in victory formation. Because, I mean, I guess we can call timeout to get the ball back, score a touchdown, get the onside. So it's not technically over. It would take nothing short of a miracle to win this game, especially now. We would need an actual miracle. We would need Christ himself to bless this team. There's our final timeout. They will punt. It's statistically not over yet. But I think we know how this goes. We try to throw the ball deep. It goes nowhere. And probably picked. Even tried to check it down. They still had guys there. What is this formation, by the way? Switch to something else. I mean, if I'm going to win, I especially can't be doing this right now. Yeah, man. I mean, Oregon was simply better. There's really no other way to put it. Oregon was simply better. I can't even audible or anything. Oh, I can audible. I thought he was running an out. Yeah, that's game. Okay. Yeah, Autzen Stadium is just a rough place to play. I gotta say. It's just a hard place to play. We were not ready. We were simply not ready for Autzen. We stuck in it, honestly, a lot longer than I thought we were going to. Made it a lot closer than it probably should have been. But, I mean, Dante Moore, 300 yards, 2 touchdowns, 85% completion percentage, if that tells you anything. We stopped their run game for what that's worth. But they had 141 yards with Decorian Moore. Jamari Johnson, their tight end, had 88 yards. And then, was it Jordan Napier? No. Okay, so it must have been Decorian Moore that absolutely murdered my corner number 2. Why do they have him at wide receiver 2? They smurfed him for a play. They smurfed him for a play to make sure that they could embarrass us. That's great. And then, I mean, they didn't have a lot of sacks because I was able to get the ball out, but the amount of pressures they had was just unbearable. They had 4 interceptions as well. That's a rough way for the season to end, but it had to end eventually. Ethan Houck was having the game of his life until the 4th quarter. I think if you take away the 4th quarter, he's got like a 90% completion percentage, a touchdown, and maybe 2 picks. I think only 1, though. I think it was a 1-to-1 touchdown interception ratio before the 4th quarter. I threw 3 picks in the 4th quarter. He had a long at 26 yards. Daniel Hill tried his absolute best, as he always does. He's still my glorious king. 10 broken tackles. Couldn't do enough to break Barry Sanders' record, but I'm pretty sure he tied it. It won't show up in the record book, but I will verify. Do I go over final stats? I'll probably go over final stats in the off-season episode, but I just want to check. I just want to check one. 29, 51, and 37 touchdowns on the ground. I tied it. It tied Barry Sanders' record. Daniel Hill has the yards record, but only tied with Barry Sanders. That is brutal. Yeah, I don't have much else to say about that. I will say, Barry Sanders had 37 rushing touchdowns. I'll give him that. I'd bet did he have 5 on through the air and 800 yards? I don't know. There's truly no way to know. Thank you guys so much for watching. Disappointing episode to only play one game and lose it. The season's still been a heck of a success. I mean, year 2 to bring Bowling Green to the playoffs is crazy. Even with sliders the way that they are. They're not like impossible sliders. I will go over them again. I mean, Heisman, I think we knew that by now. Not XP sliders. Good lord, can I lock in for a second? Gameplay sliders. Here we go. Yeah, these are, I think, MAT 10 V9. They have QB accuracy. Yeah, I honestly thought that was probably bumped up, but they do have it down a little bit. But even still, I mean, Dante Moore was just carving me up. Yeah, I mean, we have player run blocking is a 50. I mean, it's not exactly supposed to be, like, impossible for me to be able to win. But the goal is to make it a lot harder for myself, and I do think that was achieved. Although that is very hard to say when I literally had an 84 overall running back break Barry Sanders' rushing yards record and tie his touchdowns. But, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and sim through the rest of the playoffs. See who ends up winning the national championship. Daniel Hill, the de facto MAC Offensive Player of the Week. Probably would have been it anyways. He might even be national. He is 21 for 191. And I think 3 all-purpose touchdowns, 2 on the ground, 1 through the air. I guess I'll look at job offers. I still got time to kill. Rutgers head coach is not like the worst job I've ever seen, but we're in it. We're in this for the long haul. I guess the question at this point is, do we stay in the MAC? Do we break up MACtion to give us a little bit more competition on a regular season scale? Because, I mean, you could probably make an argument with the schedule we had. Like, we played two power conference teams all season. It was Nebraska, who we lost to, who didn't even make the playoffs. They did win 10 games, though. So, I mean, they had a heck of a year in their own right. And then, I mean, we beat Iowa State by 3, who finished 8-6. But, I mean, I guess Ball State gave us a scare in Eastern Michigan. But, I mean, I would not call this a gauntlet schedule by any means. So, a lot of decisions to be made for next episode. That was a sentence. A lot of decisions to be made for next episode. Let's check the bracket here. Okay. So if it's any consolation, I mean, we put up the same amount of fight as Texas. We actually scored the most points on Oregon's defense in this entire run. And they made it to the national championship game. Go ahead and sim one more week to see who wins it. I will feel a little bit better about this if we had to go into their territory and lose to the national champions. That will make me feel a little bit better about it. They did not win the national championship. They lost in overtime, to be fair. But, I mean, that was still that was a very winnable game. If I didn't throw that pick in the red zone, down 3 with 4 minutes left, we probably could have very easily won that game. But that's what's done is done. Thank you guys so much for watching. Off season will be probably Thursday or Friday. I'm uploading this December 2nd, I think. Yeah, it'll be uploaded December 2nd. I'm recording it right now as well, but so probably either December 4th or 5th. I don't know if I have a truly reliable way of getting this information out, but if you made it to the end of this, smash like, subscribe, whatever YouTubers do, I guess. But turn on notifications for Twitch. Go to my Twitch. Link is in the description, as I already said earlier. But it's, if you don't want to go to the link in the description, it's the same handle as my YouTube is. Go ahead and drop me a follow there. Turn on notifications for when I go live. I will probably not... I don't think I'll go live before then, just because of how my schedule looks. But yeah, that's probably the best way to know when I will be doing the off season. If you guys want to be there for that, but I get it if not. I mean, it's kind of just me sitting in the menu and scouting players. But I know people are into that, so if you are, be ready for that. It will be in either 2 or 3 days. But until then, so long.